so today I want to talk about this concept called the intersection of two straight lines. Okay, what it means, what it means is that if let's say I have one straight line over here, okay, and then another straight line over here that is intersecting lah. Okay, so they're intersecting, they're crossing each other. So the point where it is intersecting, okay, this is called the intersection point. Okay, and it can be a coordinate. Okay, so if you have your modules with you, what I want you to do is I want you to put a star over here and then say the strategy to do this is to y equals to y. This is the strategy that we're going to use. Okay, the y equals to y. When I say y, I means mx plus c equals to the mx plus c. Okay, y1 equals to y2 lah. Okay, so the two mx plus c's must be the same. Okay, then we will do the intersection. So no matter what happens, you must have, okay, you must use the equation of the straight line that goes y equals to mx plus c. You must have two lines where the equation is y equals to mx plus c, and then you equate them together. Okay, so let's begin. Let's show you this number 15 first lah. Okay, so number 15 says a straight line has a gradient of 2. Oh, sorry. Okay, so the straight line has a gradient of 2 and passes through the point 4, -1. Okay, 4, -1 like this lah. So let's take a look at this. If the straight line has a gradient of 2 and passes through the point 4, -1, we can form the equation already. Okay, so it will be y minus y1 equals to mx minus x1. What is the gradient? The gradient is 2. What is the point? The point is 4 and -1. Okay, so we can substitute it in. So we will have y minus -1 equals to 2x minus 4. This is from the previous class lah. Okay, we've already learned this in the previous class, so I'm just reiterating this. So we'll get y plus 1 equals to 2x minus 8. We multiply inside. Okay, move the plus 1 across. I'll get y equals to 2x minus 8 minus 1. Okay, which will give me y equals to 2x minus 9. So this is my first y. Okay, my first y. Now, then the question say, it intersects the straight line. Okay. Oh no, it intersects the straight line. Oh no, sorry, hold on. This is me trying to be canggih lah makan, tapi tidak menjadi. Okay, so it intersects the straight line at x plus y plus 4 equals to 0. Okay, now let's bring this line over here. X plus y plus 4 equals to 0. Now remember, when I want to find the coordinates of the intersection point, okay, I must be y equals to y. So that means this one I have to change. Okay, I have to change. So I bring the x and the 4 across. I'll get y equals to -x minus 4. And this is my second one. Okay, and so remember what I said just now, that to find the intersection point, okay, to find intersection point, okay, we have y equals to y. Okay, y from the first one equals to the y from the second one. Okay, so the y from the first one is 2x minus 9. And then y from the second one is minus x minus 4. Okay, and then from here we can find the value of x, kan? Okay, can you try? What is the value of x? Okay, 5/3. Yeah, anyway, the answer is given here lah, kan? Sorry. The answer is actually given here, but okay, fine. So x equals to 5/3. So how do we find the value of y? Okay, we find the value of y by substituting the x into whichever y that you want. Okay, you can substitute it into the first y or the second y. So let's say I substitute into the first y lah. So substitute x equals to 5/3 into the first y, this one. Okay, so y equals to 2x minus 9. y equals to 2, 5 over 3 minus 9. You calculate this in your calculator, you should be able to get negative 10 minus 27, negative 17, okay, over 3. Then, okay, then don't stop, you're supposed to find the coordinates. Remember the question, the question say, find the coordinates. So your final answer must be a coordinate. So you write down there, the coordinate of intersection point, okay, is 5 over 3, comma, negative 17 over 3. Remember, if the question asks for coordinate, the final answer must be in coordinates. Okay, that's a very, very important thing that you shouldn't be missing out. Okay, so this is to recap. Actually, you've learned this way back when. I don't know when, maybe when you were in Form 3. But I just want to teach you this again. Okay, usually when we talk about intersection points, we have two straight lines. We find this y equals to mx plus c, and then this y equals to mx plus c. Then we kasih sama. Okay, kita kasih sama so that we can find the x coordinate. Then lepas itu kita cari the y coordinate. And this is very easily practiced. Okay, the problem, of course, is making sure that your equation is y equals to and y equals to. That one is a must. Okay, that one is a must. All right. So what I want you to do first, okay, is to mark this down. Sorry, it should not be here. Okay, never mind. I want you to mark this down now. Question number 16, okay, is your first homework for the day. Okay, question number 16 is your first homework for the day. It's a very simple intersection question. Okay, find this straight line and then find this straight line. And then after that, find the intersection point. Okay, that's the first question. Sorry, let me I need to move this to the left. Okay, so now the next thing is, please turn with me into this page, the page where we're supposed to do the Form 4 stuff. This one, okay, the intersection point of two straight lines which is perpendicular to each other. Okay, so now we're talking, remember yesterday we were talking about perpendicular lines. Okay, sorry, not yesterday, when was it? The day before lah. Okay, we're talking about perpendicular lines, right? Okay, the diagram shows the straight line AB which is perpendicular. Okay, so we see the words here, perpendicular, okay, very important, to the straight line CB at the point of B. Okay, so it is perpendicular, and then this one, okay, this one over here, this is the intersection point. Okay, so whenever you see an intersection point, we must immediately think about, okay, y equals to y. Okay, that's the first one. Now, it says the equation of the straight line CB, this one, okay, is y equals to 2x minus 1. Oh, got him already. Don't need to even think about it. So this is y1. Okay, the first y. So let's talk about how to find this second y over here. Okay, now the good news is we have a point. Okay, so number 2 ultimately 0 and 4. How do I find the gradient of this one? So we remember from our previous class yesterday. Sorry, when was our previous class? Don't know when, on Tuesday. Okay, so our previous class, we talked about perpendicular. And when we talk about perpendicular, we're talking about M1 equals to negative 1, M2. Okay, so we want to find this gradient, but we know this gradient. Okay, so that's very good news for us. All right, so okay, let me go back to here. Okay, so the gradient, okay, what is the gradient for CB? Okay lah, fine. Okay, so the gradient for CB, okay, the gradient for CB, okay, is 2. From this equation, you know there is 2. So in order for us to find the gradient of AB, okay, the perpendicular line, okay, M2 equals to negative 1 over 2. Okay, so that means this one, okay, this one, the gradient is negative 1 over 2. Okay, yeah. So we have the gradient, negative 1 over 2, we have the point, 0 and 4. So this line over here, okay, alahai, okay, never mind. So we can find this one, y minus y1 equals to mx minus x1. Okay, and so we can form the equation lah, y minus 4, okay, from this one, equals to negative 1 over 2 x minus 0. Okay, we will get y minus 4 equals to negative half x. Negative half times negative 0 will be just 0, so it doesn't really matter. We move the 4 across, we get y equals to negative half x plus 4. This is the second equation. So we have the first equation, which is this. Okay, and we have the second equation, which is this. So to find the point of intersection, okay, we have to y equals to y. So the first y is 2x minus 1 equals to negative half x plus 4. And so you can then now start pindah memindah lah. You can start moving it around. So 2x plus half x equals to 4 plus 1. 5 over 2x equals to 5. So x equals to 2, I think. Is it 2? Yeah, x equals to 2. Okay, but we're not done now. When we find x, we must find the coordinate of y. Okay, so what do? You substitute. Substitute x equals to 2 into, okay, which equation? The first one or the second one? Doesn't matter. Okay, you just substitute into either one. Do you notice that F is an intersection point? Yeah. Okay, and so what do we do when we have the intersection point? We use y equals to y. So this is what I want you to do now. So the first y is 3x plus 4. 第二个 y 是 negative 1 over 3x minus 6. Okay, tell me, work this out now. Okay, try to do it now, everyone. Okay, work this out and tell me what is the... Okay, fine. I know the answer is here lah. Okay, but try to do this now. Okay, and tell me whether you can get the answer. Okay, I give you 5 minutes to do this. Do it now, everybody. What's the answer? Negative 3 and negative 5. Okay, as long as you pindah correctly, I think it should be okay lah. Okay, I don't think it should be a problem now. Okay, so your second homework of the day is this now, question number 64. Okay, pretty much the same thing. Okay, except that, okay, let me guide you through this. If it is perpendicular to the line, this one, okay, if it is perpendicular to this line, you have to change this x over 4 plus y over 2 equals to 1 into y equals to yada yada yada. So this one is the tough part. Okay, but this one, find the equation of the straight line passing through the point 4, 5 and perpendicular. This one we did in our previous class. Okay, you need to find the gradient and then m1 equals to negative 1 over m2 can. Okay, but let me guide you on how to change this into y equals to. So x over 4, okay, ignore this lah. Okay, x over 4 plus y over 2 equals to 1. Okay, so the first thing you do is you cross multiply. Okay, so you darab di bawah sini, you will get 8, and then you cross multiply 2x plus 4y equals to 1. Okay, so that when you do that, okay, you will be able to 2x plus 4y equals to 1 times 8. You bring the 8 up. Okay, can you see where I'm headed? Then after this, you can pindah, then you get y equals to second dan sekian lah. Okay, so the most important step is this one. This is the most important step. Okay, you need to cross multiply so that you can move the down there to become up. Don't, I always see a lot of people doing this one. Okay, x plus 4 plus x over 4 plus y over 2 equals to 1. Then they bring the 2 up. So x plus 4 plus x over 4 plus y equals to 2. Cannot now, guys. Cannot. Okay, cannot. This one will make me like this. Okay, cannot. Okay, make sure you learn how to cross multiply. Okay, just like when you did fractions last time. Okay, so today's class is very short. Okay, and since today's class is very short and there's only 2 homework, I just want to do this one last one. We do this together. Okay, so question number 65. The diagram shows the locations of the school. Okay, the school, the hall, and the park drawn on a Cartesian plane. Okay, over here. All right, let me make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so the clock tower will be built such as its distance from the school and the hall are the same. Okay, so the clock tower is in between the school and the hall. Okay, so we're talking about this line. And so the clock tower must be in the middle. Okay, so the clock tower, I'm going to put C over here. Okay, so what do you think this C is called? If it is in the middle of the school and the hall, what do you think is called? What is this point called? Okay, it is called the midpoint. Okay, it is called the midpoint. Let's count the midpoint first. See whether we get this answer. I say you won't. There are 2 conditions there. Okay, there are 2 conditions. So the first condition say the distance from the school and the hall are the same. Maybe it is not the midpoint. Maybe it is like somewhere here, but here the distance and here the distance is the same. Right? So it can be also there. It can also be here. The distance over here and the distance over here is the same. So it's not necessarily the midpoint. Okay, but it also says that it is the closest to the park. That means, okay, that means wherever you put your clock tower, okay, there must be 3 conditions. Number 1, the distance over here is the same. And number 2, because of the word the closest to the park, okay, the nearest line between 2 points is always a perpendicular line. Okay, it's always perpendicular. Okay. Okay. I think I know where we're going. All right. Let's consider this. Okay, so the first thing is we know that wherever this clock tower is, okay, we know that wherever this clock tower is, it always lies somewhere in between the school and the hall. Okay, so, and as I said earlier, I think we can start with the midpoint first. Okay, so the first step will be to find the midpoint. Astaga. Okay, find the midpoint. Okay, between the school and the hall. Because, okay, let's say the midpoint, then the clock is here, right? But it can be anywhere along this line, as long as this is nearest to the park. Because anywhere along this line, along the midpoint line, is always the same distance from the school to the hall, whether it's here or here. Okay, so anywhere along the midpoint line. So no matter what, we still have to find the midpoint first. Okay, can you find the midpoint and tell me what is the value, please? Okay, the midpoint is negative 100 and 300. Okay, so let's write this down first. Okay, so the midpoint is negative 100 and 300. Okay, let's take a look back at this diagram. So if the midpoint is here, okay, if the midpoint is here, and we want to find this straight line, because wherever this straight line is, it's always going to be same distance from the school to the hall. So it has to be a perpendicular. It has to be a perpendicular line. Okay, so the second thing will be to find the gradient of school and hall. Okay, and after you find the gradient of school and hall, find the perpendicular gradient. Okay, can you do that first? So the gradient of school to hall is how much? And then the perpendicular gradient is how much? Can you let me know? School to hall is 1/2. Okay, so the perpendicular gradient will be negative 1 over 1 over 2, which is, okay, which is negative 2. So we know that this red color line over here, the gradient is negative 2. Okay, and that's very, very important to us. Okay, because now the question say that we need to build the clock. We need to build a clock tower that is same distance from the school and the hall and is the nearest to the park. Okay, now if you think about this, nearest to the park is only one, Astaga. Okay, nearest to the park, there's only one situation where they will allow you to be nearest to the park, which is if you are perpendicular to the park. Okay, over here, perpendicular to this park. Okay, so that means I have to find, sorry, please forgive my dog. Okay, I have to find the equation that connects the park to the clock tower. Okay, my question to you is, what is the, if I'm going to besarkan ini okay, so let me draw this out here lah. So we know that this one, the gradient is negative 2. Okay, and we know that the park is here. Okay, park is how much? 300 and 250. 300 and negative 250. Okay, so sorry. All right. So that means wherever I draw, that means if it is, sorry, what is this negative 0? Negative 2. Okay, so that means in order for me to build the clock tower, it must be here lah. Okay, it must be perpendicular to the park. Okay, so the question is, what is this equation of the straight line? Do I have enough information? I have the coordinate, which is 300 and negative 250. How about the gradient? Do I have the gradient? Actually, the gradient is the same as the gradient between the school hall and the clock. Because it's 90 degree, 90 degree, 90 degree, so must be parallel lah. Okay, take a look at this. Okay, so if this is 90 degree, here also is 90 degree, that means this and this must be parallel. It is also 1 over 2. So can you form the equation for this? What is the equation? Y equals to yada yada. Use this gradient and use this point. Try and see. Give me the equation of the straight line between the park and the clock tower. Okay, so the equation that relates to this, okay, the equation that relates to this is y minus negative 250 equals to half x minus 300. Okay, so the equation for this straight line now. Okay, so it will be y plus 250 equals to half x minus 150. So you move across, you get y equals to half x minus 400. Okay, it should be minus 400. Half x minus 400. Okay, so this is y equals to half x minus 400. Okay, now we come back to this thing. Okay, can we find the equation of this straight line? Okay, can, because you know that the gradient is negative 2, and you know that it passes through this point negative 100 and 300. Okay, so because of that, okay, you can form the second equation. Okay, where the gradient is negative 2 and the point that it passes through is the midpoint of the distance and the clock tower, negative 100 and 300. Okay, so let's form the equation. Y minus 300 equals to negative 2, x minus negative 100. Okay, so y minus 300 equals to negative 2x minus 200. Bring the 300 across, you get y equals to negative 2x plus 100. Okay, plus 100. And since this line, okay, this red color line and the blue color line are perpendicular, so, and because they intersect here, the clock tower, okay, so you can write that the clock tower, okay, is at the point of intersection, okay, between the red color line, which is y equals to negative 2x plus 100, okay, and the blue color line, which is y equals to negative 2x, half x minus 400. Okay, and then we can find the point of intersection already using these two. Okay, can you try it now, please? Find the point of intersection, y equals to negative 2x plus 100 and y equals to half x minus 400. What is my point of intersection? Well, actually the answer is there, but I want you to, can you please try this on your own? Negative 2x plus 100 equals to half x minus 400. Okay, bring this across, bring that across. So negative 2x minus half x equals to negative 400 minus 100. So you will get negative 5 over 2x equals to negative 500. So x equals to 100 times 2, 200. Right? X equals to 200. You should be able to get x equals to 200. Yeah. So once you get x equals to 200, then you substitute. Okay, sub x equals to 200 into whichever one lah. Okay, I'm going to use the first one, negative 2x plus 100. Okay, so I'll get y equals to negative 2 times 200 plus 100. I will get negative 300. So the position of the clock tower is at 200 and negative 300. Wow, this is really a 7-mark question. You take a look. So long. Yeah, 7 marks. Okay, it requires us to understand a lot. Okay, wow, so long the writing. Okay, but anyway, don't worry. This is a hot question lah. Okay, so so maybe it's a good thing that we discuss this, but it's quite interesting lah. Okay, everything that we have learned, okay, this is where we apply it. Okay, but of course, even I also took a little bit of time to try to understand what is the meaning of this lah. Okay, a clock will be built such as its distance from the school and the hall are the same, but it must be also closest to the park. Okay, that one for me was like, okay, if it's the distance the same, should be midpoint. But then it can be here, it can be here. It is along the midpoint, okay, but it is perpendicular to the equation of this one. And I think it's very important that you try to understand apa sebenarnya di dalam soalan ni. This is a very good question. Okay, it's a 7-mark question and it's we will call this a very standard SPM question lah. Okay, HOTS question. Okay, HOTS question for SPM. You look at the marks also, you know it is 7-mark question compared to the questions for your homework, which is like very low level, very simple one. It's only 3 marks. Okay, these are paper 1 type of questions, and then this one, the HOTS question, usually in paper 2, you will see this lah. Okay, and then next week we will continue on with this chapter. All right, so please finish up the 2 homework for today, which is the question that I showed you just now plus question number 64. Okay, and then submit it into your Telegram homework channel.